Imagine a bullet that can travel 93 million miles, pass harmlessly through the aluminum hull of an airliner, and strike a single silicon chip with enough precision to knock a 70-ton jet out of the sky. This is not science fiction, and it is not a theoretical exercise. As of this morning, Friday, November 28, 2025, this is the reality facing the global aviation industry. European regulators have just issued an Emergency Airworthiness Directive that effectively grounds thousands of Airbus A320 family aircraft. From American Airlines in New York to Wizz Air in London, the order is the same. Fix the flight control computers or do not fly. The culprit is not a software bug written by a human. It is not a loose bolt. It is the sun itself. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what happened on JetBlue Flight 1230. We're going to look at the physics behind the failure, and we're going to expose the massive logistical nightmare unfolding in hangars around the world right now. A nightmare that might keep you on the ground this holiday season. To understand the panic in the boardrooms of major airlines today, we have to go back 4 weeks. It is October 30th. JetBlue Flight 1230 is operating a routine service from Cancun, Mexico to Newark. The aircraft is an Airbus A320, a workhorse of the skies. The weather over the Gulf of Mexico is clear. The seatbelt sign is off. But inside the avionics bay, located just beneath the cockpit floor, a silent game of roulette is being played. At 1400 hours Eastern Time, without any warning, the aircraft pitches nose down. This is not a gentle drift. It is an abrupt, violent maneuver. Inside the cabin, the effect is immediate. Passengers who aren't buckled in are thrown upward, hitting the overhead bins. Flight attendants in the aisle are knocked off their feet. In the cockpit, the master caution alarms begin to scream. The most terrifying part is that the autopilot is still engaged. The computer thinks it is flying perfectly. It believes it is correcting a problem when in reality, it is creating one. The pilots react instantly. They disconnect the automation, grab the side sticks, and physically wrestle the aircraft back to level flight. They declare a mayday and divert to Tampa International Airport. They land safely, but the toll is real. 15 people are taken to the hospital with impact injuries. When the Federal Aviation Administration and Airbus investigators arrive, they expect to find a broken sensor. Maybe a blocked pitot tube. Instead, they find a flight control computer that is perfectly intact, but whose memory has been corrupted by a ghost. To truly understand why regulators are terrified, we have to look back at history. Because we have seen this before. On October 7th, 2008, Qantas Flight 72 was cruising over Western Australia. That was an Airbus A330, the big brother of the A320. Suddenly, it pitched down violently, not once, but twice. It injured 110 people. The investigation took years, and what they found changed aviation history. A single memory chip in the Air Data Inertial Reference Unit had malfunctioned. It took the altitude data, 37,000 feet, and literally rewrote the binary code to make it look like an angle of attack of 50 degrees. The computer thought the plane was stalling, so it pushed the nose down to save it. That failure was caused by a random cosmic ray. It was a 1 in a million shot. But what is happening today with the A320 fleet is different. It is not a random shot. It is a bombardment. We are currently entering a period known as solar maximum. This is the peak of the sun's 11-year activity cycle. The sun is shooting out high-energy protons and neutrons at a rate we haven't seen in decades. Usually the Earth's magnetic field protects us, but at cruising altitude 35,000 feet, you are above most of the atmosphere's protection. You are on the front line. On JetBlue Flight 1230, a neutron struck the ELAC, the elevator aileron computer. The ELAC is the brain that keeps the plane stable. It contains millions of tiny transistors. When that neutron hit a specific memory cell, it caused a single event upset. It flipped a 0 to a 1. Now, aviation computers are designed to handle this. They have error correction code that spots these flips and fixes them. But Airbus discovered a critical vulnerability in a specific hardware standard known as L104. In this specific unit, the error correction failed. The computer accepted the corrupted data as truth. This is where it gets technical and terrifying. Airbus aircraft fly under a set of rules called normal law. In normal law, the computer protects the pilot. It won't let you stall. It won't let you roll upside down. But when the ELAC gets corrupted, it uses those protections against the pilot. On the JetBlue Flight, the computer thought the plane was in danger, so it used its full authority to force the nose down. The pilots were fighting a computer that thought it was saving their lives. This is why the emergency directive is so strict. You cannot just reset the system in flight. If the hardware is vulnerable to the sun, the only safe option is to stay on the ground. Once this link was proven, the safety regulators had no choice. The European Union Aviation Safety Agency realized this was not a freak accident unique to JetBlue. The vulnerable L104 unit is currently installed on approximately 6,000 aircraft worldwide. That is more than half the global A320 fleet. The emergency directive issued today is blunt. Effective November 29th, any aircraft with this specific unit is grounded. It cannot carry passengers until the unit is either updated or replaced. The impact is staggering. American Airlines has confirmed over 340 of their jets are affected. Wizz Air and EasyJet are facing massive disruptions. Air India Express has dozens of planes stuck on the tarmac. If you are seeing canceled flights on the departure board today, this is likely why. So, how do you fix 6,000 airplanes in 48 hours? Maintenance crews are currently working around the clock in an all-hands-on-deck operation. There are two ways out of this mess. Option 1 is a software update. For newer aircraft, mechanics can upload a patch that changes how the ELAC handles memory errors. It takes about 3 hours per plane. It is tedious, but manageable. Option 2 is the hard road. For older aircraft, the software patch will not work. The physical computers must be removed and replaced with a newer standard, the L103+. The problem is that there aren't 6,000 spare computers sitting on shelves. The supply chain is about to snap. We are seeing reports of airlines cannibalizing their fleets. They are taking good computers out of parked aircraft and putting them into their most profitable jets just to keep the schedule moving. This is a logistical chess game, and if you are flying Wizz Air, EasyJet, or American Airlines this week, you are the pawn. Regulators have allowed ferry flights, meaning pilots can fly the broken planes to maintenance bases, but only low and slow, and absolutely no passengers. This event is a wake-up call. For 100 years, aviation has battled the weather. We learned to de-ice wings. We learned to use radar to avoid thunderstorms. But now we are fighting a new kind of weather. Space weather. As our aircraft become more digital and our microchips become smaller and more sensitive, they become more vulnerable to the universe itself. The grounding of the A320 fleet is expensive. It is inconvenient. But it is also a massive success story for aviation safety. A risk was found. A single near miss occurred. And instead of ignoring it, the regulators grounded the entire fleet. They chose safety over profit. If you are traveling soon, check your flight status. If your plane is swapped from an A320 to a Boeing 737 or an Embraer, now you know why. The ELAC is a small box, deep inside the belly of the plane. You will never see it. But today, it is the most important thing in aviation. I want to hear from you. Are you nervous about flying during a solar maximum? Or does this swift reaction make you trust the system more? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you want to stay updated on this developing story, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. Thanks for watching. Fly safe.